Hello, this video I will show you how to create this chair. Mariam, she asked me how to model it. So basically what we need to do is, I'll show you from the beginning, but basically what we need to do is to create lines and then add from rendering, enable in viewport, and increase the radial thickness to get these tubes. Okay, so I'll show you just the steps quickly because it needs a lot of time to create this exact shape, because we have, for example, these three lines that are coming from here and then going up and then going back to the front, but then this line starts from here and then it goes to the back. Again, the same for these three lines at the top, and then we have these two at the bottom. So the bottom ones are the easiest ones to do. So let's say I'll start with a rectangle. Usually what happens when you start any line, enable and render, enable and viewport will be closed. Okay, so it will be this way. So I will start with a normal rectangle and I will change the dimensions to, let's say, 600 by 600. Again, this you will follow the dimension. It might be 600, might be 900. So depending on what you think is okay for an armchair. So just search for the standards and that's it. Then I will add edit spline, and usually I prefer to add this edit spline instead of changing the rectangle itself, because this will give you an opportunity to go back and change the dimension if you want to. So in edit spline, I will select vertex, select all these vertices, and then go down to fillet and start curving the corners until you reach the shape that you want. So let's say this is the shape. I'll just stop it here, click on edit spline. Now I need to run up the rendering part. So I'll go to rendering, enable and render, enable and viewport, and then this is radial. So I'll just increase the thickness, let's say to 50. Okay, so this is too much. So let's go back to 10, for example. If that's fine, you can keep it. Otherwise, you can increase and decrease from here. And you can always come back and change it if you think that it's too much. And you can increase the sides to make it more smooth. And don't forget to click on interpolation and change it to adaptive. This will make the line smoother. Okay. So now this is the first rectangle. We have two, so shift and copy, and then from here you can make it instance, for example, and then don't forget to align it, so in X and Z axis, minimum to maximum. If this doesn't work, this is because it's a line basically. So what I need to do now, I'll just move it instead of figuring out how to move it up and then or changing it to editable poly. I'll just check here the rectangle. We added 20 for the thickness. So I'll come here, type 20, and you will see that it will be the same. Okay, or they will be exactly above each other. So these are the first two rectangles. Then we need to start with these two lines or even three lines. So I'll start with these and then we can come to these three lines here again. So first, let's go to the top of view again, and I will copy the same line, same as this one. So Control and V. I will not make it instance, just a copy because we will change it. And then in the Z axis again, I will add 20, so it will be above them. Then I will go to editable or edit spline, and I will start moving these vertices up and down. So these are here, and then it turns and then it goes back. So I'll just do it quickly so you can see the concept behind it, and then you can play around with the dots until you perfect the design that you want. So basically this is what we're trying to do. Of course I need to move these as well. Okay, and then what you will do is you will go to the lines or to the dots here. If it's easier for you if you cannot see it this way, just close this one in viewport for now to see them, and then you can enable it later on. Okay, so here you select this, for example, and what you will do is click on it, click here in X and Z only, so you can move it in these two directions, and then you can move this one until you reach the shape that you want. Do the same thing for this. I click here just to make sure that it will move only in X and Z. Now it's locked. Even if my mouse is here, it's locked in X and Z. Then again, move it until you reach the shape that you want. Change the view, check it from another view. For example, maybe I need it to be up more. So just to make sure that the dimensions are correct, I will check or select a box and check the height. So the height is supposed to be around, let's say, 800. So I'll take it up to 800. If your chair is lower, you can make it, for example, 700. That's up to you, because usually from here to here is 500, and then you have this top point. Okay, so you can manage the dimensions and change the dots, the lines, until you reach the type that you want, or the height that you want. Don't forget to change these handles so you can get the shape. So here I will look it in y-axis, and then I will move it to get this shape here. The same thing here, look the y, and then change the handles. So you will play around with it if you want it to be lower from this side, or you want to play with it this way, for example. Okay, so just move around until you reach the shape that you want. So let's say this is the shape. If you want to get exactly the same shape on this side, just go to the back, F3, and try to get this shape exactly as it is. Okay, once you're done, close it, go to rectangle, enable, and viewport. So now we have this shape. Now what you can do is, I'll just click on Ctrl V to get a copy. Then in edit spline, I will select the SP line here, select it, and then I will go here to outline, and then you can increase it. Let's say I want to increase it 20 as well. So you will get this second line. And then you can change some of the things to get the exact shape that you want. So maybe these points, I will make them up, and I'll move them a little bit to the back. Okay, so this is another one. And then again, I will select this one, make another copy, or you can make it all in one line, but I prefer to separate them so I can work with them easier. I can select the dots in each one and move them easier. So for this one, I'll make it -20, and always don't forget to delete the original one. So these are 2 lines. I will delete one, so I'll have one only. So now I have these 3, and then again you will go for each one. So let's say this is or you know what, since this one is already starting from here, I'll make the copies all to outside. So this one again, I'll copy it, go to SP9, go to SP9, and then again add 20 and delete. Okay, so now we have 3. So this is the first one, which is the one that we already have, and it's fine for us. I will go to the second one, start moving the line. So for example, these 2 dots at the top, I want to take them up, let's say 20 as well, or maybe even this, and then move them to the front. No, I think 20 was okay. So for now I will move them this way, but then you can manage the dimensions as you are working. So this is the line. Maybe from here I'll move these points, this point and this point. I'll move them a little bit up, and let's try scaling them. Okay, it won't work, so I'll just move one by one, little bit to this side. Sorry. Okay, the same thing for this one. Okay. Again, if you cannot see the dots clearly and you want to change them, you can do it by closing closing enable and viewport. Okay, so let's see these two here. I'll just delete this box since we don't need it, and let's go back to the second one. Okay, so again, these two dots that we have, or 2 points that we have here in this one, take them up, and then I'll move them to this side. Okay. And just make sure that they are exactly here outside, because this is the line, so it needs to start here. And again, the same thing for this side, it needs to start above this line. Okay, and you will continue the same thing for the third one. So this one, again, this needs to come here, and this one too, and then we need to select both and take them all up to this side. And again, you will play with the handles until you reach the part that, or the shape that you want, because it will not be always the same. Okay, or let's keep this and just select these two and make them here and bring them to this side. Okay, so you will play with these these vertices until you reach the shape that you want. Don't forget to change the handles, because this is not accurate. You need to move the handles so you can get the shape exactly. So these two need to come here. Okay, so again, you'll see these here, so you need to go to the line itself, move this handle a little bit so it can be here, or move the vertices. So for example, maybe if I select this one and move it so it will be a bit better. So until you're done with all of these lines, so we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we need 7 lines. For the second one, you will do the same. The only thing I will show you more, you might need it. So for example, let's say I have this rectangle. I will just close these settings so we can see what we're doing, and I will add edit spline. So let's say for example that you have these 4 points, but you need 2 or 3 more in the middle. You have many options that you can use. The first option is that you can go to refine here. In refine, you can click anywhere and you will get a point. Okay, so this is the first option. The second option is I will go to the second option here, which is segment, and then you can select this segment, and then you can go to divide, and then you can increase this, for example, for 3, so it will give you 2 or 3 points, and it will be divided evenly. Okay, and then you can move them. Of course, you know that if you select any vertex, you can right click on it and change it to bezier, so you can get these handles, or you can change it to smooth, so it will be automatically smooth when you move it. You don't need to change anything in the handles, but for this case you will need to control the vertices to get the shape that you want. Okay, so that's it for the lines, Miriam. I hope that this is useful for you. If you still have any issues, please let me know.